Hello, Evan.
Hey.
We are here at Buchler and Friends.
Yes.
And it's day 2. It's day 5 for us because we've been here since Tuesday.
That's
but we're
a long
time. We're going to look at Discrete Map, which is your new kind of sequencer concept, right?
Yeah. So it'll be out in March, and let's look at this one actually. So the easiest way to explain it is to start out with an external signal into X. So there's just an LFO going into it right now.
What are we listening to? If I unmute,
We're listening to the harmonic shift oscillator is making the sound with inertia as an envelope. So you have a signal going into X that's just an LFO, and each of these bottom sliders will set a position, and when that signal passes that position, either rising or falling according to the switches, that stage will activate, and you'll get out whatever voltage is on the top. So it's great for synchronizing with some rhythmic thing that's already happening in your modular. You don't necessarily need to take a clock and try and get that to time with your LFO or whatever it is. It does also have an internal ramp that you can use as a clock. And in that mode, there's a second length mode, which controls the relative length of each step, which can be a really intuitive way, depending on what you're doing. So right now, they're all the same length. Now, X4 takes twice as long as the rest. Now, X6 and X7 take half the length of these ones and a quarter the length of that one, right? So it's just sort of, you can think about it, just as quarter notes and eighth notes, but it's really just the relative position of the sliders that matters. So yeah, and then in addition to that, there's a whole bunch of just nice features to make it play well with others. Has an external in that'll cancel the current step, a plus Y that's a precision adder. You can take the ramp out, you can put a different signal in, above and below control the top and bottom of the sliders. And then for the clock itself, we have a sync control that'll immediately sync the ramp down to the lowest value, as well as a sync over N that will only do that after a certain number of gates are received. It also runs at audio rate, and at audio rate, it's basically a graphic VCO of sorts, and it has a loop once control as well, so you can have it trigger and go through and then stop.
Yeah, so like a one-shot mode.
Yeah,
okay,
a one-shot mode.
Cool.
The expander for it, I might make some more expanders if it does well, but right now, the expander, basically you put those 8 steps into 3 groups, A, B, or C, with the switches. And then for each of those groups, you have CV over the position, so you can nudge it forward and backward in time. And individual gate outs. It's not in loop mode. As well as a sequential switch. So it's got a ton of features. It's really designed to work well with anything you throw at it.
So when are you kind of hoping to have it ready?
In March, sometime. I'm going to set the date very soon. I'm going to add actually an extra jack on it, but
other than that, it's done.
Once that's done, it's done. It's been tested pretty thoroughly, so yeah, it's ready to go.
And what sort of price point are you aiming for? Can you tell us that yet? Or
yeah, I'm going to price it. I think I'm going to price it at $479. It might have to edge it up from there, but I'm going to try and keep it low, especially because it's really nice to have 2 of them. You can have them play off of each other, or since it's designed to work with other things really well, whatever else you have, you're probably not. You could just have it as your only sequencer, but you're probably going to have a number of things all feeding into each other. So I'm trying to keep the price point low for that reason.
Brilliant. Well, Evan, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.